Hello, 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 everyone. It's me, it's your girl, Sia Bryant, and I am the Mobile Notary Mentor. Welcome back to the channel if you've been here before, or if this is your first time, welcome. Today's video, I decided that I wanted to get back to basics. I want to get back to the fundamentals. What is a mobile notary anyway? So, if you're new here and you've wondered what is a mobile notary, this is the right place. So, let's get started. So, the first thing I want to talk about is exactly what's a mobile notary. A mobile notary is a person who is specially trained to provide notary services on the go. So, traditional notaries typically have a place or a space from which they do their work. So you might have a traditional notary who works in a bank. Sometimes at our shipping stores, they might have a notary there on staff. You could find a notary there. Some notaries have standalone offices. That's all well and good. But I want to talk about the idea of a mobile notary. A mobile notary gives notary services on the go. They will meet because that's me too. I'll meet clients where they are. If it's home, if it's office, if you prefer a public location, well, let's set the appointment and I am there. So mobile notaries give flexibility to individuals, but also businesses use mobile notaries. For example, if I work with an attorney's office, if there is an estate planning attorney who has a will or a living trust, some type of document that needs notarization, and they don't want their client to have to go to the office, the mobile notary can maybe travel to the client's home. I've also had situations where I've met in that type of situation where I've met the client and the attorney both at the attorney's office. So those are the types of situations. I'll give you another situation. Let's say there's a family member who is elderly and not able to get around very well. I often get calls from children, grandchildren to come out because mom, her faculties are great. Her mind is clear, but she just can't get away around the way she used to. So that's another example of what a mobile notary would do and the reason why someone would call a mobile notary. So just with any other notarization, if you go to someone's office or you go to a place to have something notarized, the same process takes place in this kind of mobile notarization situation. I am verifying identification. I am administering oaths if I have to do that. Sometimes I've been a witness for a transaction that happens. So anything that can happen in kind of a office setting, we can do in most mobile settings. That makes sense. So now, one thing you have to know though, if you are thinking of becoming a mobile notary, you might say, oh my gosh, this sounds great. Every state has its own requirements, and states specific information can be found on the website for wherever you live. Okay, so you want to make sure that when you're pursuing this and you're asking questions, that you're really looking for the information that is pertinent to the state where you live. Okay, so people ask me all the time, oh my goodness, how did you get to do this? What does it take to be a notary? And I can tell you what it takes to be a notary in my state, but it's a little bit different in each and every state. So if you're interested in becoming a mobile notary, say you're intrigued, say that you listen to this and you said to yourself, oh my goodness, there's no way I can't be a mobile notary now. I would say, first of all, subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more information about kind of what I do, how I do it, how I get clients, how I service those clients, etc. but also make sure you do a little bit of research as well. So that's it. I just wanted to give you some information about what a mobile notary is, what we do, and I want to thank you for joining me today. Now, if you found this video to be helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and there's going to be a lot more valuable content. I give information about being a mobile notary, being a remote online notary. I'll talk about that in a subsequent video. I also talk about what it's like to work on the platform that I'm most familiar with, Notarize. And I also talk about some other topics as well. So stay tuned. And until next time, happy stamping. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. It's me. It's your girl, Sia Bryant, and I am the Mobile Notary Mentor. Welcome back to the channel if you've been here before, or if this is your first time, welcome. Today's video, I decided that I wanted to get back to basics. I want to get back to the fundamentals. What is a mobile notary anyway? So if you're new here and you've wondered what is a mobile notary, this is the right place. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is exactly what's a mobile notary. A mobile notary is a person who is specially trained to provide notary services on the go. So traditional notaries typically have a place or a space from which they do their work. So you might have a traditional notary who works in a bank. Sometimes at our shipping stores, they might have a notary there on staff. You could find a notary there. Some notaries have standalone offices. That's all well and good. But I want to talk about the idea of a mobile notary. A mobile notary gives notary services on the go. They will meet, because that's me too. I'll meet clients if it's home, if it's office, if you prefer a public location, let's set the appointment. Hello, everyone. My name is Sia Bryant, and I'd like to welcome. Hello, everyone. How are you? Hello, everyone. It's me, it's your girl, Sia Bryant, and welcome to the channel. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sia Knight, and I am the Mobile Notary Mentor. So if you're new around here, let me explain a little bit about what that means. It means several things. So first of all, I am a mobile notary. That means I go to people's homes, their businesses, the hospitals, nursing homes, etc. And I go and I help out by notarizing documents for people. So that's the first thing it means. The second thing it means is that I'm also a remote online notary, and I primarily practice through the Notarize platform. So that's also something else you should know. And the third thing, and probably the most important if you're watching this on YouTube, is that I mentor newer notaries on how to make money with their commission. I think that what I found over the course of several months and years is that people often have their commission and then they kind of sit on it. They don't do anything with it. And what I do through the new notary workshop, and spoiler alert, this is coming back for 2022, the new notary mastermind. What I do is I get a group of like-minded notaries together, and we train on documents, we train on processes, we train on new laws and regulations. So it's a wonderful time, but that's not why you are here. I want to tell you what happened to me and why I'm in a little bit of a pickle. I'm in a little bit of a hot water with Notarize right now. So let's talk about it. First of all, let me just say, I want to give my disclaimer. I am an independent contractor with Notarize. I don't work for the company itself. So I want to put that out there. But I do love partnering with Notarize. I would say it is my bread and butter overall when it comes to my independent mobile notary slash Ron business, right? So Notarize, if it's available for you in your state, it's a great way to get your volume up in terms of the number of notarizations you do. They do training. They want to make sure you know what you're doing, etc. So cool. I love Notarize. So I'm going to put that there first and foremost. But let me tell you why I'm a little bit annoyed with Notarize and myself today. I go on Notarize primarily on the weekends because I work a full-time job. I've got these kids. I've got all of this stuff going on, right? So I usually get on Notarize on the weekend. So today was no exception. I said, okay, let me get on to the Notarize. I'm going to go there. It's getting close to the end of the month. People are going to want to do real estate transactions. So I am ready. I log on, or might I say, I attempt to log on. And there was a message waiting for me. It said, Sia. Well, actually, I don't know if it said Sia, but it said, hey, you cannot log on. And I said, oh, why not? And then I looked and I saw why not. Okay. I had two things that were expiring within the next couple of days. I had my NNA background screening, which actually does not expire until October 28th. And as I'm filming this, that's several days from now, but whatever. Okay. And then I also had my background, no, not my background, but my training, my exam. Okay. So those two things were expiring. And in fact, my exam hadn't expired either. They jumped the gun a little bit, but they said, hey, listen, you cannot log on until you get this thing resolved. And so immediately I go to NNA, National Notary Association, right? And I go and I went to kind of sign up for it's not even a class. You take an exam, you pass it, and then you have your credentials for the next year, right? Then the background check, which I could have sworn I've done it within the year, but maybe not. So I've got to pay, and I've paid, and I've done that. Here is why I'm a little bit annoyed. Number one, finding this out on a Saturday morning is super frustrating because I know from previous experience that when I have something going on with my account, I don't care if I take care of it instantaneously, which I did with the exam. I went ahead and took the exam and passed, by the way. It takes maybe 2 to 3 days for the notarized folks to get on to recheck your credentials and to clear you and then put you back on the platform. So I'm annoyed with myself for not checking. I guess maybe I should check all the time to see if my credentials for Notarize are up to date every time I log on. But I'm also a little peeved because it's going to take several days for me to get back on the platform. But no worries, because what has happened is because I don't have the time to do, or I don't have the ability to do notarizations, I can get in here and do what I have been trying and wanting and pledging to do, which are videos for you guys. So my loss is your gain, I guess. So I want this to be a cautionary tale to all of you. If you get on the Notarized platform, keep an eye on your expiration dates when it comes to certain things. It's happened with me with my exam, my background check, and then what else did it? Oh, my E&O insurance. Again, I don't know why I have these things at different times, and it's various random times, but I would say maybe every couple of months, check to see when your credentialing is up, because most people, if you're a standard notary, You only worry about when your commission expires. And I know that date. That is December of 2022. I know that date. But also, as a word of warning, keep your other dates in mind. In fact, what I would advise and what I've decided to do is I have a mobile notary mentor kind of a book, a notebook with my business stuff in it. I'm also going to kind of keep the dates front and center of when my various things expire. So, for instance, another random thing is when my digital certificate expires. I'm going to be up the creek if I don't have that done a few days before the expiration date. So, that's all I wanted to say. I will be hopefully in Notarizes good graces again within the next several days. But in the meantime, it's like lost revenue over the weekend, but it's a good lesson for me. And I wanted to share this as a good lesson for you. So that's it, folks. I'll mention again the new Notary Mastermind is coming back. The first date's going to be January 4th. If you want more information about that, I'll put a link down in the description of this video. Or if you want to contact me directly, feel free to put your email in the comments and I will contact you directly to answer any of your questions about the mastermind group. So that's it, folks. Until next time, as they all say, happy signing. Bye. Hello, everyone. My name is Sia Bryant, and I'd like to welcome you to the Mobile Notary Mentor channel. So today it's very important because what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down 5 things that will help you become a successful mobile notary. I've got 5 key tips for you. Before I get started, though, I want you to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And then you can even wait until after I give you these great tips. Then you can make sure you give the video a thumbs up and hit that notification bell to make sure that you're not missing out on anything that this channel has to offer. So let's talk. The first thing that you need to do in order to become a successful mobile notary is that you have to know the basics. You have got to study. You've got to know your notarial laws. You've got to know what the legal requirements are in your state, because I've said it once and I'll say it again. Being a notary public is a very, very state specific business to be in, right? So you also have to know what essential supplies you need. So those are all kind of the real basic things you need in order to get started and get up and running as a beginning notary. So that's the first thing you have to do. The second thing you have to do to become a successful mobile notary is you have to build your mobile notary brand. So some of you are going to say, you lost me right there, but you have to have an online presence. So Google My Business page, that is essential. You have to have a website. You have to have those are the two. You must have a Google My Business, which also has kind of a website component, but you also, if you want to be very successful, should have other social media outlets as well. So I know some people would say it's a necessary evil. I would agree, but you have to have your brand out there. The third thing, in order to become a successful mobile notary, networking. Again, some people say I'm shy. I don't want to talk to people. I don't really like people that much. Spoiler alert, maybe you shouldn't be a notary, but you have to get yourself and put yourself out there. If no one knows you're a notary, how are you going to get business as a notary. So networking. So, and also let me tell you this, the very first loan signing that I got, okay, I'm a fairly new notary, a brand new loan signing person. I went through the training, had never done a loan signing before. What happened? I met an attorney. My first loan signing assignment was direct business. So it wouldn't have been that way. I wouldn't have been able to kind of probably make those connections online or via social media, that sort of thing, perhaps. But I met this attorney in person. I talked to him about not about my work as a notary, because I hadn't really had that much work as a notary or as a loan signing agent. But I talked to him about my main career, which is as an educator. So, and the fact I'd been doing that forever. And he said, "Oh, I like that." So he liked that fact. And so we connected, and that was my very first loan signing appointment. So that's back when I was doing loan signings. I really don't anymore. But the point is networking in person. It was at one of those chamber events. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4, if you want to be a successful loan signing agent. Number 4, if you want to be a successful mobile notary, then you have to have your feel good pricing strategy in place. So what does that mean? And my feel good pricing strategy, it feels good if I make as much money as possible. That's not what I mean. I mean, a feel good price, and I read this somewhere, is where you don't feel like you are charging too little for your services, because that can give you a bad feeling like, oh man, I should have charged this much. Or you're not charging too much for your services, meaning, oh man, I almost feel like this is highway robbery. Now, all of this, again, is just within the context of your state laws, your state requirements, and what your state allows you to charge for notary services. I want to say that. But some states don't have any requirements. Some states allow you to charge for travel. All of that is very important to know, because if people are calling you and you don't have your pricing down pat, it's hard to sound confident. Another thing, and I'll do another separate video about this, when you quote your price is your price. I don't negotiate. That's just me. I would suggest you don't. So, but anyway, that is number 4. Make sure you have your pricing down pat. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you know what your competitors are charging for the same services, etc. Okay. Now, the last thing you need to do in order to be a successful mobile notary is you need to know how to handle tricky situations and challenging clients. Now, that's not necessarily something you would know how to do based on each situation. However, one thing that you need to know how to do is to, if you don't know the answer to a question, say, that's a good question. I'm going to research this, and I'm going to pause the signing because I'm not quite sure about this. I don't want to do something that's going to get me and or you in trouble. So we might need to come back to the table. You might need to do that. Sometimes you have signers who are maybe not in the best moods. Some situations we run across, or we get to talk to people about, it's like the best day of their life. So we're happy. Sometimes they're purchasing a house. Sometimes it's sometimes it's like around the worst day of their life or the worst situation. You have to be cognizant of that as well. So sometimes people aren't in the best mood. You have to kind of know that and know how to navigate that. It's just bottom line customer service. So that's a very, very important part of becoming a successful mobile notary. So if you're ready to embark upon this journey, this career, this side business, now I want you to make sure that you hit subscribe on this channel. I want you to make sure you hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and start this journey together. Until next time, everybody, happy stamping. Bye. Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Sia Bryant, and I am here with a new video because as you all know, I am active on the Notarized platform as an independent contractor. I don't work for them as an employee, as a W-2, so I want to make that clear from the jump. But I do take a number of calls on notarize.com. I think I'm up to 4,300 or something like that. So I've taken a lot of calls there. And I've had some people ask me about the new 1583 form. So I said, well, I am going to take the time and do a video on it, just because it's interesting. So let's take a look. Let me see if I can share my screen and talk to you all about this doggone form. Let's see. Hopefully I'm looking in the right place and the video shows up properly. But what I want to do is I want to talk about this form. This is the new 1583. Now, some of you all know that in Notarize, there are different levels. There's, I think, the partner level, then there's the business level, then you get the gold level. So the retail queue, you can take kind of retail calls. In the business queue, you get a lot of these 1583 forms. So recently, they changed the form. And I want to talk a little bit about kind of what's different with this new form. So one thing that's very interesting about the form is that you need two forms of ID as you did before, but one form of ID is primarily for primary identification, photo ID purposes. And that's what's indicated here in box 8. Okay, so photo ID information from applicant. And I will say the last few that I've gotten on this new form, everything has pretty much been filled out in advance. So kudos to whoever's pushing these through on Notarize, because it can be a little discombobulating when you're used to a form being a certain way and now it's changed. So you're still looking for the two forms of ID, no matter what company is pushing these 1583 forms your way. This is the first form of ID, which is the photo ID and the primary identification source. So cool. Here you have the person's name, the ID number, who issued it, if it's California, the expiration date on the ID, wherever, and then what. And it tells you exactly what is the form of ID here. Okay. Then we have the second form of ID, which is primarily for address verification purposes. Now, here's something that's a little bit different. When you talk about this for address verification purposes, they're very, very descriptive in what is allowed to be accepted on this form. Now they did that in the past, but then some companies would be a little bit more lenient than others. But for this one, the second form of ID, the name, the person's address, okay, and the address ID type. So it has to be like their lease, their mortgage, vehicle registration card, something of that nature that has the address that matches this here. So what if you have someone who has like a driver's license and the ID, the photo IDs here, and they used it as their primary photo ID but they had another piece of identification, and it does not match the address down here, but this does. Nope, no good. This second form of ID has to match the address that's in the box. So now some people might say, well, that's been kind of sort of that way already. iPostal 1 was already a little picky about what you were allowed to accept and not accept. But this is something I've seen kind of come down the pipe for several different vendors that push these forms through to us. So we have those two things. Another thing that's interesting is this is a little bit different. The signature of witness. So I've also seen in the notes tab when there are notes for us to kind of be aware of when we're filling out forms. It kind of on this part of the screen, something will say, hey, something that's a common error is that notaries aren't signing the signature of witness portion. So that is a little bit new because on the old form, we would put see attached certificate. Okay. And then we would attach a loose leaf. Now, the forms and the instructions that I've seen come through say no loose leaf, no dice. You sign as a witness, you date, and then on the second page is your notary block here. Okay. So this is different. This is different. So again, you have the state, the county, all of this information, your signature when your commission expires, and your seal, and anything else that is required in your state to make it an official notarization. But what's different is that there's no attachments anymore. Okay. So that's all. I just wanted to kind of hop on and talk to you all a little bit about it. I had some friends who were talking about this in a group chat. I said, well, let me go ahead and make a video about this because I've seen kind of enough come through now that I think I kind of have a good feel for what to look for kind of right off the bat. So we can kind of do that in a quick fashion. So I just wanted to show you the new form. Now, what's confusing and what's kind of crazy is that you'll get some new forms and some old forms. So that can be kind of hard to keep track of. And it's one reason why I kind of stay away from the business queue often. I love to stay in the in the gold queue with doing the real estate transactions, but if nothing's happened there, I will hop into the other queues and pick up some new things from the business or the retail side. So, but that's it, folks. Let me stop sharing this. I just wanted to show you the new form if you hadn't seen it. If you had seen it, I just wanted to kind of bring a couple of things to your attention. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about this new form? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think we got enough lead time and enough training in terms of how to handle the new form? Or is it just something else that's confusing to all of us? So I'm interested to hear kind of what the response is on that new form. So that's it from me, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on for these videos. And until next time, happy signing. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. It's me, it's your girl, Sia Bryant, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you won't miss any of the new content that drops from the channel. So today I am super thrilled to talk to you about kind of my script, what I say to people when I take calls on the notarized platform. So it's after 4,000 transactions, 4,000 plus transactions, it's kind of like automatic. But if you get into a rhythm, if you get into a flow, you too will have your way to greet the customers, to get through the required questions, and you'll have a smooth closing as well. So that's what I want to do. I want to just kind of share with you what I say to customers when they come on the line, and also to kind of give you some advice how to make it a little bit more conversational. When I first got onboarded to notarize, they had a script and they probably still have a script. And I've taken it, I've kind of zhuzhed it up a little bit and I've made it my own. So I just want to kind of share what I say to clients. So I'm going to kind of pretend like I'm on a call so I can kind of get into the zone. Sometimes when I talk about what I say to clients, I kind of get messed up and I kind of get a little bit twisted. So hopefully I can get through this as if I am on an actual call, because I tell you, when I'm on those calls, I'm killing it. It's very smooth. So let's see if I can recreate that. So let's say the computer rings, ring, ring, ring. And okay, here it comes, the client. They pop up on the screen. Hello, welcome to Notarize. My name is Sia Bryant, and I'm a commissioned electronic notary in Virginia. Before we get started, I need to let you know that today's session will be recorded. Is that all right with you? Good, thank you. Can I get you to please state your full name for the record? Okay, thank you. So before we get started, I have some questions that I'm required to ask on the record. If you would, please answer verbally yes or no. Okay. Are you participating in today's signing session of your own free will? Do you understand the contents of the document that you're about to sign? Do you agree to use an electronic signature to sign the document? Do you understand and agree that by signing the document, you legally bind yourself to the terms of the document? Okay, very good. So what am I going to be notarizing for you today? Okay. All right, stop. That is kind of the flow of the beginning of the call. And that's how I kind of get into the swing of things. The first thing I do is the greeting. I let them know who I am, what state I'm from, and that I am a commissioned electronic notary. I have to have them identify themselves. They need to say their full names for the record. Often they're like, do you want me to say my middle name too? And I just say, yes. Okay, because that is your full name. Then I ask them then the required questions just to make sure that all of the disclosures are taken care of. Are you doing this of your own free will? Do you understand the contents of what you're signing? Do you agree to use an electronic signature? Do you understand and agree that by signing the document, you legally bind yourself to the terms of the document? So you say those questions. Those are the questions that Notarize wants you to ask, right? And then after that, I follow up with, what am I notarizing for you today? Now, you know, if you're a notary that's worth your salt at all, if the person was like, I have no idea what I am signing today, I don't know what this is, then you have a problem. And you stop the transaction. I'm like, oh, well, I can't notarize a document that you don't understand the contents of. So we're going to say, oh, wait a minute, hold on. So this is for the house, and I'm going to sign that someone is the power of attorney. Then as long as they can explain what it is, then we can continue, right? So after all of that has been said and done, the last thing I do is the closing, and it can get a little bit awkward, especially on Notarize, because sometimes the person needs to pay, and sometimes they have already paid for the transaction. So instead of getting caught up in that, here's what I say. I said, okay, all right, the notarization is complete. Now I am going to pass you on to the final step of the process. When I click out, the next screen will let you know if there's anything else you need to do to finish up the transaction. Thank you for using Notarize, and have a great day. So that covers whether or not they need to pay after the transaction, or if they don't need to pay. It's really saying, hey, look, I don't know what you need to do in order to finish this up, The next screen will let you know. And it will also answer some of the questions that people have. It's like, okay, so what do I do now? Where do I go? And that sort of thing. It's like, hey, I'm going to click out. I'm going to go. And when I leave, the next screen will let you know exactly what you need to do to finish up the transaction. Okay. So that's it. Again, it took a 4,000 transactions for me to be able to get that as smooth and as kind of as rote as it has become. Sometimes I do stumble, sometimes I do mess up. Often it's because I'm also doing some multitasking while I'm doing that. I've gotten it so rote that while they're answering the questions, I can go ahead and start kind of taking a look at the document, starting to make sure that everything is in place before we can get started. So I'd stumble, I mess up. So don't be afraid to get started. Don't say, oh man, I don't know that. If you need a card, if you need a script to hope, then have that. And if you stick with it long enough, you too will remember the script and the lines. So that's it, folks. That's my script, and that's my 2023 script for notarize.com calls. With a little preparation and following your own script and your own thing, your notarize.com calls will also be a breeze. So remember, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any other tips or tricks to make the notarize calls successful. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and take care. Goodbye. Bye.